Chapter 1, Mishnah 1. When one kneads dough in order to make bread, he must separate a portion of the dough and give it to a Kohen. This portion is called Challah. The Mishnah teaches that only certain types of grain are subject to this obligation. We now turn to the words of the Mishnah. The following 5 types of grain are subject to the obligation of Challah: wheat, barley, spelt, oats, and rye. Dough made of any other type of grain is not subject to Challah. Having taught that only these 5 grains are subject to the Challah obligation, this Mishnah and the one that follows discuss a number of other laws that apply only to these species. Here, the Mishnah discusses the law of the new crop of grain, Chadash, which may not be eaten until the Omer offering is brought on the second day of Pesach. See Vayikra chapter 23, verses 10 through 14. It is even prohibited to harvest the new crop of grain before the barley for the Omer offering is harvested. First, however, the Mishnah reviews the law just discussed and teaches another law about Challah. These species are all obligated in Challah, as we have just learned, and they join with one another to reach the minimum amount needed for the Challah obligation. They are all subject to the prohibition of eating Chadash before Pesach. That is, the new crop of any of the 5 species may not be eaten before Pesach, and the new crop of any of the 5 species may not be harvested before the grain for the Omer offering is harvested. The Mishnah explains what is considered the new crop with regard to the prohibition of harvesting it before the Omer. If these species took root before the Omer was harvested, the Omer permits them for harvesting and eating. But if not, if they did not take root until after the harvesting of the Omer, they are forbidden until next year's Omer arrives. That is, they may not be harvested or eaten until next year's Omer is harvested.